Have you ever dreamed of a job in public relations? Now's the time to get in. According to LinkedIn, and this is the only one platform, by the way, where you'll be able to find all the best public relations jobs, there are currently almost 4,000 vacancies in PR available. In this video, I am going to show you how you can maximize your chances of getting a job in PR, no matter your experience or what industry you have come from. So why should you listen to me? Well, I was the publicist who famously put Carole Middleton, founder of multi-million-pound Party Pieces company and mother to Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, in her first ever public interviews on media. It was the PR campaign that got its own headline, simply because I was the first and the last publicist to talk her into breaking her silence. It is quite simply not what you say to an audience, which is marketing, but what that audience will then say to each other, public relations. Great PR is free marketing. For example, if you market something to your audience, it is your voice and your language that they are listening to. PR, on the other hand, is what people say about you using their own words and their own language. As a PR professional, it is your primary duty to uphold that good reputation that your client or your business has. So, how do you go about getting a job in PR when you have little experience, you haven't worked in PR before, and you're coming from seemingly a totally different industry? Let's go through the points in turn. These are my 9 tips for bagging a job in public relations in 2021. What industry have you previously worked in? Was it retail? Was it hospitality? What did you enjoy about these roles? Make a list of the things that you loved to do the most when you had these job positions. What were your strengths? What did you excel in? And what did you fluff up or you didn't enjoy? It's important to look at these things, as it will help you get your next job. Why? Well, if you go for elements that you have enjoyed in the past, you are more likely to make a bigger effort when applying for an application in the future that has these elements. It makes sense, really. Find your favourite industry and then find out as much as you can about working in PR in that particular industry. All you need to do is do a quick Google search of that particular industry and set up a Google alert system. So that is going to give you either daily or weekly any news items anywhere in the world that is going to have that particular point, that particular industry in. So you'll be able to keep up to date on all sorts of news things that are happening all over the world. All you need to do is make bullet points of the facts that you find out in your Google search. This will make you feel more clued up and more confident about reaching out to a particular industry that you want to find a job in. Note the language and the terminology that these industries use, so you'll be able to quote them in your job applications and then eventually in your job interview, making you sound as though you're more savvy, you know what the industry is about, and you're more likely to get the job. Now, everybody in PR, any professional in PR, no matter what level, be it entry level or senior associate, you always make up a portfolio of the work that you have done in the past. That way you've got something to present the next employer, particularly at your job application. Why? Because this is how PR works. Your abilities, your experiences and the projects that you have been involved in will be put in front of the hiring manager before you are personally in front of that hiring manager. Add all the interesting articles and things that you've done to show off your copywriting skills. Think about the different parts you have played in your role. If you think about it, PR is in everything. It's communication after all. That's the fundamental basis of it. So if you delve deep enough, you will be able to find some PR experience in almost any job that you've done. For example, if you were a barman or a waitress in a particular public house or a restaurant, then PR would have come into your role somehow. Now, if the establishment you were working for used social media platforms to promote special offers they were doing, happy hour, that kind of thing, or meal deals and so forth, and you have conveyed that to the customers that you have spoken to, and they've gone away and told their friends, and more customers have come in because they've come in on recommendation, that is PR. So always mention where you have promoted the reputation or the brand in your previous experiences. Get names where you can, get links to add to your portfolio where you have been involved in such things. Now, don't forget, you don't have to have had PR or public relations in your title in your previous experiences. All you need to do is demonstrate that you have implemented some sort of PR, some sort of communication which has built on a brand you have worked for or enhanced a reputation to show that you have PR experience. I personally got my portfolio going from writing a newsletter and then editing a magazine. Now, this is how I did it. I went around promoting UK bands and performers and entertainers in the vintage industry. This way I was able to stretch my editorial skills, my copywriting skills, and my publicist skills as well by taking on multiple clients, by promoting them across the UK, writing about them and putting them in the magazine and promoting them that way. That is how I drew on particular skills in my previous experience. If you can find something where you have done something similar to that, even if it's been writing a blog, then make use of that experience in your portfolio as well. There are multiple different ways that you can work in public relations. But first off, you will need to work out whether you want to work for an agency or you want to be in-house. Now, what's the difference between the two? When you're working for an agency, you're more likely to be working within a team and working on multiple projects all at the same time for different clients. You might just specifically working in a niche. Say, for example, you could be working for a PR agency that deals with technology, or somebody or a PR agency that works particularly with fast-moving consumer goods. So if you like spending all your time working to very, very tight multiple deadlines on different projects and all in one go, and taking the responsibility as a team or rather than as an individual, then working for an agency might be right for you. The only downside, and there are multiple downsides to both working in-house and agency, is that when the glory comes to you and a PR project has been pulled off, no one is necessarily singled out of the team for making a big impact. You're going to take on the glory as a team. However, if you want to be in control of a project, manage your own deadlines and take full responsibility from the get-go, as well as solely take on all the glory if you've pulled off something with maximum results, then working in-house might be a good option. As I say, both have their good points and their bad points, but it really depends on your personality and your character skills. Agencies can be the best place to start for entry level, particularly if you're young and ambitious. But if you are of mature years and you have more experience, perhaps you've been in a number of jobs beforehand, then you might want to go in-house. In-house PRs tend to have experience over a multitude of different niches and industries, and these type of roles usually suit someone who has been in the workplace for a good number of years, if not a couple of decades. As one of the most important skills in PR is the ability to network, and not to mention charm the hind legs off a donkey, they are mostly persuasive and very friendly, and are usually brilliant experts at getting to know people very quickly and getting them to open up and be trusting at the same time. So if these skills are not necessarily natural to you, then you need to build on them, because it's going to be these charmful and persuasive skills that are going to win and allow you to build a really super successful career. So how do we do this, and particularly in a virtual world? Well, the best way is to join groups. Now, my favorites are LinkedIn and Eventbrite, where you can do virtual networking. It sounds pretty absurd, but you will actually gain a lot of experience by checking in on these Zoom calls with other people and swap information and get chatting and so forth. Much better than simply messaging on LinkedIn, where you can not necessarily hold someone's attention for very long. Messaging seems to be quite short. Yes, it is all on Zoom, but trust me, it's not going to be forever. We will see a time, I reckon, within the next 12 months where we're going to see good old-fashioned networking lunches and events happen again, and these are always the best place to get your networking skills really well developed. However, if the thought of virtually networking really frightens the hell out of you, then don't worry. I have got a live session you can have with me over Zoom, where I can teach you how to brush up your skills and become a very persuasive and quite entertaining networker. The details of this fabulous course are in the description box below. Always stick to PR jobs boards, and specifically boards where are niche based. These will avoid the fake jobs as well. And where the hiring companies are going to be active, you need to be somewhere where people are actively recruiting. I also talk about these skills, how to apply for jobs and how to maximize your opportunities to getting an interview and getting hired, and even how to win over a hiring manager in my course. So just check that out in the description box below and find out how you can get some live tutoring from me. So make sure you sign up to things like PR Week and Talent and LinkedIn and so forth, and get those PR job alerts going. Of course, the big thing to remember is it is tough out there and there will be rejections, and you do have to build up a fairly thick skin. However, if you're able to follow a particular skill set, which I teach in the course, then the chances of you being rejected are going to be minimal. Another excellent way of finding out exactly what's going on in public relations is to consume media, and by that I mean read as much as you can about news items in the industry that you are interested in and the niche where you think you're going to excel. PR professionals simply adore the media, and traditional PRs often spend a lot of their time flicking through the newspapers, scouring the headlines, and generally keeping up to date with what's going on in publications both on and offline. Sign up also to relevant blogs in that particular niche as well, so you can see what other people are talking about. Use a Google alert system for your desired niche, so you can beat the rest when it comes to knowing everything first. PRs are brilliant when it comes to communication. After all, that's their job. And they have got to be excellent at both written and spoken language. And of course, they often have oodles of personality and character. A shrinking wallflower never became a PR professional, not a successful one anyway. So you need to feel confident in your own skin, also how you sound and what you say, to win over any hiring manager. So read more books, listen to podcasts in your particular niche, and pick at and analyze the way that people talk. TED Talks are very good for this as well. I am a big fan of Bob Proctor. Now, he is well into his 80s now, but he really knows how to deliver a particular speech and how to communicate with an audience. Watch him, look him up on YouTube, watch his old videos to the more recent stuff. His message never ever changes, but yet he really knows how to deliver a particular subject. A PR role is a highly rewarding role, and it can be one of the most respected roles on the planet. When I first jumped into public relations, I really didn't know a great deal. I made it my plan to get in with as many people who were more influential. I really made use of the people around me that I was working with and listened to them and learned from them. And I wasn't really well known in my field until many years later. It was only when time went on and the roles got bigger with more responsibility and got more high profile that I found I got treated very differently. So by the time I worked for the Middletons, I was known as a highly fierce gatekeeper in the national and international press. It did take me many years to get there, but I never took my eye off the ball. When I look back, every moment was worth it, even though it did take a long time to get there. I am helping you fast track there by my courses, which you will find in the description box below. As they say, you have to sow a heck of a lot before you can reap the rewards. If you are prepared to do that, then you will go far. So if you want to pick my brains for only 20 quid in a whole full live hour, then sign up in the link below. In the meantime, I am delighted to have shared all my knowledge with you in this video today, and do check out all my other videos in the series by hitting that subscribe button and liking this video. I have been Michelle Hatcher, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much, and good luck in your new PR career. Bye for now.